Hey everyone, welcome, welcome. How are we all doing? Um, I I've got a bit of a sore eye because I was like fixing my hair, making myself all beautiful for yous, as always. Um, not does anyone else get this with their hairspray? Like after like I don't know, once a wee bit of the try to think after like a couple of weeks of using a new whatever it is. It's the Silverican or whatever it's called that I use. Um, the hairspray starts to collect round the wee spray bit, and you spray it, and it all of a sudden it comes out like in an unnatural and strange direction. So of course I went to spray my hair, and it went right. It was this eye, right in this eye. Um, which isn't pleasant if anyone's ever had hairspray in their eye before. Um, but yeah, I tend to after a while I need to always check the wee nozzle and make sure that it's like clear of all like solidified hairspray. Why am I talking about hairspray? Who the hell knows? Who cares? But just letting you know that I hurt my eye. Just trying to make myself presentable for you was the point. But hello and welcome, and I hope everybody's doing okay. I hope no one else has got a sore eye for any reason. Um, I am drinking a drink of I think it's Tango, apple flavored Tango, um, apple flavored something. It's quite nice, but yeah, I just wanted a cold drink today, so we don't have any tea or coffee or anything. It's a cold drink because the heat is back today with an absolute vengeance. Let me tell you. Went to take the dog a walk earlier on and I thought I was going to faint. And to make matters worse, I got to the graveyard, which I mean is only like a 5 minute walk down the road, and then realised I'd forgotten poo bags. And I thought it'll just be like the thing that she'll do a massive poo in someone's grave or something, and I won't have anything to pick it up with. So they race back, praying that she wouldn't like do the toilet on the pavement all the way up or the sidewalk for my American friends. And thankfully she didn't. Um, but yeah, that's the joys of having my memory. But anyway, yeah, what are you guys all drinking? Has everyone had a good week so far? Let me say hi to the people that are here. So I've got Simon. Hello, Simon. We've got Red Wing, and we've got the lovely Malamere, and the lovely Deanne, and Laura, Nancy, Marita, um, Pink Divination. See, got to rinse it with warm water. Yeah, to be honest, I think I just what did I do? I got a wee bit of water in my finger and just kind of rubbed it. It'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be all right. You need to clean the nozzle off after you use it to avoid it. Yeah, I know. It's just annoying. It's inconvenient. Like, can they not invent a hairspray mechanism that doesn't do that? Um, let's see. We got to. Have I said hi to everyone? Of course, my chat's jumping, but that's a good thing about me highlighting the chats as I say hi to people. Is I can remember, I can easily find where I left off. Nancy from Crohn's Intuition. I know I said hi to you, but I feel as if I've not seen you in a while, so it's lovely to see you, Nancy. I hope you're doing okay. Rachel, hello. How are you? Laura says last night in North Houston we had a storm that was like a mini hurricane. No power, no cell, trees down everywhere, chimneys blown off houses. Oh my goodness, that doesn't sound too good at all. We did have some heavy rain. Was it yesterday? It was the day that me and Sandy went to Asda. So when was that? We went to Asda. It was Tuesday. It was Tuesday evening because it was after, what was it? It was after I had Luna at the vet. So, yeah, Tuesday there was, like, serious, serious rain, so there was, and I never actually saw any lightning, but you could smell it in the air, that it was gonna, that we needed a good bit of thunder and lightning. And then I think Sandy noticed it when we got back. He noticed some flashes. Um, Miss Moonlight Musing. Hi there, how you doing? It's lovely to meet you. I don't think I've met you before. Uh, Laura says we've lost power 3 times in the last 10 days. That's not good. Oh, the lovely Sandra's here as well. Hi Sandra, how are you? Oh, Nancy. Nancy says it's good to hear your lovely accent again. That's nice. Janine's here. Hi Janine. The worst is when the nozzle drops off and you can't find it, and then you try and use another hairspray nozzle, but it's not got the right size. Yeah. Oh, um the woes, I suppose is the word I'm looking for. The woes of, making yourself beautiful. Eh? Could you imagine if anybody was coming on here for the first time and that was like what they were hearing from me? They'd probably think I was like really, like, I don't know, arrogant, big headed and stuff. Which I don't know, maybe you all think that anyway. But if you were coming on here the first time and I'm saying all the woes of having to make yourself beautiful, like, it's not a good look, is it? But oh well. Um, I want to shout out a channel. This is a channel that most of us probably know well, but but I have noticed that she is only 4 subscribers away from hitting 1,000. It is our lovely Elaine from Tarot Tats and Tea. I noticed it earlier today. She was live with the amazing Brian Cormac Carr. If you've never seen it, then check it out. But can I just ask everyone I pasted it there. I want to get her to 1,000. So if anyone who's not subscribed to Elaine, please pop over and hit the subscribe button. She's got a brilliant wee channel, so she has. She is the loveliest person in the world. She somehow manages to toe the line between being really lovely, a really sweet person, but you just know that she wouldn't take any bullshit. Um, and normally it's like for me, people are one or the other. Either they're like really nice, really, really nice, or they're like, don't take any bullshit. And it's like, oh, I'm a wee bit scared of this person, but Elaine's not like that. Like Elaine, I don't know, somehow manages to perfectly embody both qualities. Um, and yeah, our content's really fun as well. So please do check her out. Please subscribe if you aren't already. Let's get her to 1K. Simon says she's at 999 now. Let me go over and see. I still see 996, but if I refresh, oh, 999. One away. If there's just one person here, I'm holding up 2 fingers and saying one, that's not helpful. There's one person here who is not subscribed to Elaine from Tarot Tats and Tea. Please pop over and hit the subscribe button, hit bell notifications so that you can see when she posts stuff and you can check out her content as it's being posted. Let's hit that 1,000. Okay, still saying 999. So we managed to add 3 on, and I'm sure by the end of the live we'll get another one. Let me just shove that in there again, and I know that Deanne's really good for like just periodically she'll post the link again. Um, so yeah, are we Elaine? Uh, Miss Moonlight Musing is doing well. Thank you for asking. I was in a live with you and Simon a while back. I usually miss your lives and just watch the replay. Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, it's lovely to have you here. Um, yep, we're all bigging up Elaine. Elaine's amazing. Pink Divination loves Elaine's channel. Laura has subscribed. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Moonlight Musing. Thank you, Rachel. Amazing. Thanks, guys. Hi, Kristen. How are you doing? Um, Deanne says it's a good point. She's a good balance and so far. She is really funny. That's another thing. I should have said that first. She's like, I don't know, she's got a really infectious giggle. Um, and she's always laughing at something. So it's just such a wholesome wee channel. Yeah, love Elaine. She's great. Beth from Aspasia Rising is here. Hello. See Zane from Tarot Token Witchery. Hi Zane, how are you doing? Um, she's crossed it, Simon says. Let's see, let me just refresh. Oh, it says 1K. Oh, well done to Elaine. Well done, guys. Thank you very much. Oh, she'll get a nice wee surprise now when she opens it up and checks. Let's see. Robin's here. Hi, Robin. How are you doing? Um, so many cookie people all in one place. Just how we love it. Let's see. Laura says Sadna's having her 5-year anniversary on Friday. Yeah, pleased for Elaine. She deserves it. She really does. Okay. So, what's been happening this week? I was last weekend. I was at what was it actually called? I forget actually what it was called. It was like a witchy market type thing. Um, and if you've watched my latest video, which is my walkthrough of this deck, the Practical Magic Inner Witch Tarot, which people will be sick of hearing me going on about now because I've actually been going on about this. I've been talking about this deck even since before I got it. Um, but yeah, I got this at the Witch Market thing in Glasgow, and I've noticed there's another one coming up in July, so they must happen more often than I think. Either that or they're becoming more popular. So yeah, there's one on the 2nd of July in Glasgow as well. So I'm looking at it's called a bazaar, like a witch bazaar or something. So yeah, I'm probably going to go to that too. I'm enjoying my wee because I'll just have been paid on the 2nd of July. So yeah, although I should be saving my pennies. But I got this as well. This wee bracelet thing. I can't remember what all the stones are. All I remember is the red one, this one here. It's lava stone and it's supposed to retain scents. So if you spray like your aftershave on it, um, then it's supposed to kind of keep the smell for about 5 days, I think they told me. Um, so yeah, that's quite happy. And it goes with this one, which I think was a gift from our Simon, wasn't it? Um, so it goes nicely with that. Um, so yeah, I was quite happy with my wee day out. Um, I could have stayed there for hours and probably got a lot more, but I didn't. I resisted because I was being good. Right. See, I was saying how I was like being smug about how I keep my place by keeping a comment highlighted, and now there's no comment highlighted. So I saw Robin come in, so I'm not that far up. So Sadness having her 5-year. Okay, lots of love for Elaine. Laura says to Robin that she's been enjoying his videos lately. Um, Robin is in love. I'm totally obsessed with a drag queen I just discovered last week. She's been around for several years, and many have heard how many have heard of Juno Birch? Yes, it's happening. Nice. Uh, Deanne is very kindly sharing Taro by Peachy's website. So Taro by Peachy is the shop that I got both this from and the Dreamy Moons Tarot at the kind of a goth market thing a couple of weeks before. I got that deck as well. And she's brilliant. She's a lovely, lovely person. I was sitting chatting to her for ages at the weekend there, and I actually felt guilty because I felt as though I said to her, like, I says, I think I'm going to have to go because I don't want people to not come over to your your stand because I'm here talking to you. Um, but yeah, just a really lovely, down to earth person. Um, Kristen is pretty good. Tomorrow is Friday. It is indeed. Um, got a ticket to see Juno Birch when she tours here in August. I'm in love with Juno and her lovely husband. Yes, it's happening again. I'm glad you're excited about it, Robin. That'll be good. Um, Sandra says I need to be careful with money this month. A lot to pay out. Yeah, nah, I'm the same to be honest, Sandra. It's Sandy's birthday in June. Um, it's my it's Robbie, my best friend. It's his birthday just before Sandy's, but to be fair, his is on the 25th of May. So strictly speaking, his falls on the payday before, but it's like 2 days before the payday before. So really, it kind of works its way into the payday after, doesn't it? Um, and what else? Yeah, Luna got spayed. So that was like 300 and something pounds. So yeah, it's a it's an expensive month for me as well. Juno is a Manchester blue-skinned alien 50s housewife who does makeup tutorial and crazy Sims commentaries like a sportscaster. If you're into Sims, have Sandy check out her videos. Do you know something, Robin? It's not something that I've maybe played it once when I was really young, when it first came out, but it's not something that I've ever been into, funnily enough. I think Sandy maybe was at one point, but it's not really something that I've played. Is it something you enjoy? Do you like The Sims? Does anyone here like The Sims? Anyone's a big Sims fan, big Sims player? Oh, I can hear the dog barking. She's probably annoying Sandy. She bar she's like it's like we've got a teenager in the house. She's got some attitude on her, by the way. Like she'll bark and like shout at you, like really vocal, make noises at you when like you're not doing what she wants. Like see if she wants to play with her bone, for example, like she loves when you throw her bone for her. But now she's running round the couch, going absolutely batshit. Anyway, our lovely Gerald from Taro Stashes here says, Howdy, I'm still recovering from Letha celebration. How you doing, Gerald? I hope you're doing okay. I hope it's a good still recovering from it. I hope you enjoyed it. Um, Red Wing is asking, will you have a midsummer ritual as well? Malamir used to love The Sims. Oh, nice. Um, Robin says, I've never played Sims and don't know if I can on a Mac. I'd imagine you could, surely. Surely you'd be able to get it for the Mac. It's totally wacky. I don't know how much of that is in the game and how much is customized. Um, the answer is one of my exes played Sims a ton and I got wrapped up in watching sometimes. Oh, fair enough. Um, Not this year with a group. I might at home, uh, says Gerald. Luna sounds like my Siamese Zen. He shouts at you when you're not paying attention to him. Yeah, that's what it's like. It's like proper temper tantrum. So it is. I need to show you, like Sandra. I will send you a video of Luna because I think it was last weekend, maybe last Friday. Um, she was like on the other couch and she was proper like I want to say barking because it was more like she's just making weird noises. So she was, but it was. I can't even remember what it was she wanted. It was because I wasn't doing something that she wanted. Um, she was just being cheeky. Um, yeah. Anyway, uh, today's like reverse engineering the tarot or turning the tarot on its head, whatever we want to call it. Um, I thought we would talk about freedom. That was my idea for today. So what card or cards do we think represent or symbolize the concept of freedom? Um, so someone, I think Marvin, Mystic Marvin, if you remember him, I had him on for a roundtable reading a year and a half ago now, I think it was. Um, he commented on my Instagram. Let me see if I can find it. Bear with. There we go. Oh no, we don't want to hear me. He says any of the aces and of course the fool for me. Um, so any of the aces and the fool, and I'm assuming that's because it's like a new beginning. So kind of like you're freeing yourself from whatever came before. I am roasting, by the way. Um, so yeah, that's what Marvin's idea of freedom is. What about you guys? What do you think? Beth says my dog is out of control. Yesterday I had a friend over for tea and he kept insinuating himself between us and growling at. Oh wow, protecting you. Did you say freedom? Um, says Rob. George Michael. Yeah, funnily enough, Robin. I don't know if you're on Instagram, but on my story on Instagram, shut up. Fingy listening to yourself, isn't it? On my story on Instagram, it was the George Michael song. Don't know if you can hear that. I probably shouldn't do that because it'll end up with like some sort of copyright thing. Um, but yeah, that was the point. My Instagram story had that song attached to it. Freedom is the Eight of Cups, says Gerald. So I always remember we did that. It was the second round table reading, Gerald. We used Tarot of the Abyss, and you got that the Eight of Cups, and she's like walking away, and I think she's pouring out a glass of wine as she walks away. For some reason, I always remember that, like getting that card for you during that reading. I think it's the only card that I remember of the reading, but I always remember it. Whenever I think about the Eight of Cups, I think about that sort of. Janine says the Fool. So yeah, in line with what Marvin was saying, just that kind of a new beginning. But as well, like the Fool's free from like the confines of society's views and expectations and stuff. That's the whole point in the Fool is it's like a complete blank slate. They've got no kind of a concept of like no shame, no kind of a they're not like influenced at all by society. They're just their own person, zero fucks to give, like just go for it. So that is a very kind of a free way to be, isn't it? Um, Yeah, the Eight of Cups comes to mind. Also, the Chariot. That's interesting. The Chariot as well. It's funny, right? Because right, I'm going to try to think what chariot will be easiest for me to find. So, see if we look at the Chariot in the Smith Waite deck, right? He's actually cemented into like the charioteer is cemented into the chariot. So as much as like logically and intellectually, like when I think about what the chariot means, I get why, we would associate the chariot with freedom. When we look at I mean, the Smith Way is it's the most well-known tarot deck, isn't it? When we look at the image of the chariot, and that is very much the opposite, you know. He's like becoming solidified within the chariot. Um, and I'd imagine it's quite difficult to move, you know. And I think that's supposed to symbolize. Um, so obviously you've got your three septinaries of the major arcana, the three groups of seven, and the chariot is the last card on the first group, which is kind of like the more earthly pursuits. Um, and the second row is your more kind of um, I suppose, just more kind of inner pondering, inner thoughts, like going deep within, go like self-awareness maybe. But like your second row is where you kind of it's a bit of a more mature journey. And the idea is if you stop at the chariot, if you stop at like just being satisfied with having money and that kind of a thing, just having those like kind of a material and worldly pursuits, then you do almost kind of become trapped. So I think that's what it's meant to symbolise. But it's just it's an interesting point when we talk about that. Robin, the Fool is an obvious freedom card. The World, says Gerald as well. Yep. So especially the kind of the classic image of the world, like the world dancer, like being kind of almost free from the earth up in space, kind of a dancing. So yeah, I can see that. Laura says the Six of Swords. Okay. So you're kind of Six of Swords is where you were kind of moving from like a difficult situation to a more calm situation. We're removing ourselves from those tough times of the Five of Swords in order to get that mental harmony back. So yeah, that's in a way that's a kind of freedom, I guess. Three of Cups, celebration of freedom. Okay, I suppose the Three of Cups could be a celebration of anything, though, isn't it? Yeah. So Sandra and Laura are on the same wavelength there. Uh, let's see. The Fool and the World to me, says Malamir. Let's see if we can. Um, that was clever. I So it's in the second row on my shelf, and I wasn't able to see it, but I could tell by the feel of the box. Um, quite impressed with myself. I was able to do that. There's the World. Helpful if I actually put it on the screen, wouldn't it? So there's the World from Malamir's deck, the Chakra Healing Tarot. Let's see if we can find a Fool. Let's check it's not the last card. Come on, Fool. There he is. So there's the Fool and the World from the Chakra Healing Tarot, which is Malamir's deck. So these are the cards that Malamir associates with freedom. You can definitely see it here, excuse me, can't you? I think what I'm gonna do is I'll need to kind of put together some sort of journal or some sort of collection of all of these discussions. So um, maybe even just like a little white book style thing. But so every card that we've discussed that means freedom, I'll put freedom in that card entry, and every card that we discussed last week that meant pride, I'll put pride in it. Every card that meant jealousy the week before, I'll put jealousy in it. It'd be good to kind of collate these and uh, and see the kind of I think it would be interesting, like once we've done quite a lot of themes, to see look at like turn and look at like for example the full and look at all of the keywords that we've associated, key themes that we've associated with the full, and think, right, how close to that is what, if you just said, what does the full mean? How close is it to what we've got? Do you know what I'm getting at? I think it'd be quite a cool exercise. I think the judgment card denotes ultimate freedom. I totally get that. Yep, the judgment card, absolutely. Especially some judgment cards. There are particular ones, like one in Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. See if I can quickly find it. I think of judgment. I say this all the time. I think of judgment as being like unplugged from the matrix. So definitely see that as freedom. And this card's really kind of there's full. Let's see, where's judgment? Promise this won't just be a whole live of me flipping through decks and trying to find cards. Um, mhm. Again, let's just check it's not. Oh, it was the very last card. um, Awakening, it's called in this deck. So you're kind of like taking off that blindfold or whatever it is, virtual reality headset maybe. Definitely can see how we could associate that with the concept of freedom. I love Scylla's in the Shimmering Veil. Her painting of Judgment is beautiful. Again, let me see if I can quickly find it. There we go. So it's like these souls are moving towards the kind of the source, if you will. Beautiful. So yeah, I definitely, you know, agree with all these thoughts. Uh, Robin says the Four of Wands, freedom at the finish line. Okay. Robin also says the Chariot, go gas tank is full and I'm taking the car. Now that's freedom, yippee. The Hermit is free, says Marita. I suppose in a way, yeah, he's freeing himself from the influence of, everyone around about him. He's taking that sacred pause, that moment to himself, just to kind of a look back. So yeah, I get it. I get that. Um, what else do we think? Two of Wands, World is the oyster, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I always read the two of. It's weird because the golden dawn keyword for the two of wands is dominion, or sometimes domination. Uh, but I've always seen it as a card about planning and preparation. You know, um, just because of the way that I look at the numbers, to me, like the three of wands is where you first you. That's when you're taking action. That's when you're actually doing something. or doing something meaningful. The Two of Wands is more like you're planning what you're going to do. So if it's, say, for example, it's a journey, let's just use that analogy. If you're planning a journey, like a trip around the world or something, the Two of Wands is Ace of Wands is where you get the inspiration to do it. You first hear it from someone who did a trip around the world, and you're like, oh my god, I would love to do that. And then the Two of Wands is where you're like researching it and looking at maps, looking at online, like looking at all different booking things, and planning hotels and where you're going to stay and all that kind of a thing. And then the Three of Wands is when you actually take that step out the door with your suitcase and you're like, right, or your backpack or whatever it is, and you make those first steps. You take those first meaningful actions. Um, so I don't know if in that context, like just kind of a going with your thought there, Tony. I don't know if just with my idea of what the cards are, if my Three of Wands would be more freedom because it's that first kind of a step out the door type thing. Uh, Round table readings. I wonder if people would watch another one with us. I'm sure they would, Gerald. I'm sure they would. I'd love to have you on again. The world. I'm free of all my clothes. Woohoo. Yep, that's a very good point. Any card where we see nudity, you could arguably see that as freedom because it's the type of freedom. I suppose the star card in that way. The star is she's kind of. I think of the star as being a bit like temperance. There's two kind of like water receptacles. Both involve pouring of water. Um, Temperance is very kind of a up. She's not uptight, but when you compare her to the star or him, I suppose the angel in temperance is really it doesn't matter. Them, whoever. When you compare the angel in temperance to the person in the star, the woman in the star, it seems quite like kind of everything's in its place and maybe a wee bit uptight, and everything's done in a very controlled manner, whereas the star, it's tits out, like everything's off, we're just pouring the water wherever it goes, nothing matters, we're just submitting. And I suppose from that point of view, there's a lot of freedom in that card when you look at it that way. um Marit, I was thinking the World card as well. The Everyday Witch Chariot or Poppy's deck, perhaps. Yeah, that's someone on a skateboard, isn't it, for the chariot? Um, I see the chariot as getting ducks in a row, preparing to move on to eight, onto, well, strength or justice. I don't want to start a debate, but whatever you see eight as. Uh, yeah, Robin says the star. I'm free of all my clothes, free to pour out, free to pour myself a bubble bath. Patsy's here. Hi, Patsy. Only just home from my group, but happy that I made some of the live. Well, we're happy that you're here, Patsy. I hope you're doing okay. Is the world card freedom or obligation to ride the roller coaster again? I guess. The Eight of Wands, says Robin. Yep. It depends on your soul contracts, Tony, says Diane. The Sun card, free to ride my pony naked and enjoy a bit of the sun. You're enjoying some nudity today, aren't you, Robin? The Six of Wands, says Kristen. The Sun for sure, says Laura. Love your somewhat. I thought, I read that as irrelevant at first, and I was like, that's a wee bit harsh, but no, irreverent, irreverent. I love your somewhat irreverent remarks. Initially, I thought the aces, but I like the idea of the fool, says Nancy. Gerald is enjoying the discussions. Thank you, Gerald. I'm glad. The Hanged Man, free to hang by my heels, and nobody can talk me out of it. Taking all of the thoughts into a database would be amazing. Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? Yeah, I need to do something with that. I should probably start it now whilst we've only got 3 weeks worth, because if I leave it until we've done, like, I don't know, a year of this, then it's gonna be a mammoth task to pull it all together. But I know what I'm like, I'll end up leaving it until there's loads of weeks to do. Freedom isn't always enjoyable. Being unplugged from the matrix was both freeing and very stressful. That's true. I suppose that's the that your first line is the key. Freedom isn't always enjoyable. Um, it depends what you're being freed from. Uh, really, doesn't it? If you're, I don't know, 10 feet up in the air and you're, I don't know, if you're like that in the hangman card and your foot's attached onto that rope and you're 10 feet up in the air and someone frees you from that, you probably wouldn't really thank them for it, would you? um, that reminded me of something, like a song or something. Is it a Sia song? Hmm. Does anyone know? There's something that I'm thinking of. It's like cutting yourself. I don't know. That might have been a deja vu. I don't know. I just did like a weird like brainwave there. It was like that reminded me of something. Anyway, um, it's titanium. It's the verse of titanium. It's something like cut me down, but it's you who'll have further to fall. That's what I'm thinking of. Oh, I'm glad I got there because that would have annoyed me. Um, Hashtag scatterplot. I know that probably wasn't meant for my wee tangent there, but it was very like appropriately placed. I just heard Luna barking again. Hope she's okay. Interestingly enough, actually, I think Sandy might be in the shower because I can hear his music. So, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm actually going to set um, I'm going to pop on some music for you just now. I'm going to put it to a blank screen, then I'm going to quickly run and check on her. So, I will be back in about 30-ish seconds. So, let's see, how do I pop this background music on? Now, do we want cinematic? Let's make it dance pop. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to mute myself and take myself off of the screen. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, folks. So basically, I will quote Sandy just there. I spoke to him and he says, "She's fine, she's just been an arsehole." So that's the bottom line. Um, but yeah, thank you for your patience. Apologies. I'm back. Let's continue the chat. I can see you're all enjoying um the tune there, so that's good. It's quite handy that actually. Like, not that I plan on like fucking off often when I'm live, but it's good to know that if I need to, I can just stick that on and leave yous for 30 seconds. Uh, right, I was having a scatterbrain moment, but see, Malamir loves that card. I can't remember what card I had on the table. Was it the Judgment card from Shimmering Veil? The Seven of Swords says, Robin, shh, don't wake anybody up. Just let me free my enemies of their bouquet of swords. Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, that's essentially what he's doing, isn't it? He's taking the swords, the weapons away from the enemy encampment, so that he can face them alone. So it's a type of freeing in a way. Sandra's got Shimmering Veil on her wish list. Freedom isn't free, it comes with a lot of hard work. Yeah, I guess. I suppose it depends on what type of freedom we're talking about, doesn't it? Um, the Seven of Cups, freedom of choice. See, that's an interesting one because I agree, by the way, 100% agree, Marita. But it's interesting because we're talking about how freedom's not always a good thing. And even freedom of choice can be a bit debilitating sometimes because I think of the Seven of Cups as being like the Netflix scenario. It's like there's so much choice that you really struggle to choose something. I have this battle with Netflix that, you know, at least a couple of times a week, I'll be trying to find something, and it's because there's so much choice, I really struggle to find something to watch. Having that freedom of choice, having that wealth of choice, I actually find it quite stressful sometimes. So it's another example of where freedom isn't always necessarily a, a good thing. Um, I wouldn't want someone to come in and just hear me saying that, but in the context of choice, freedom of choice, um, you all know what I mean. I'm trying to think of a card that can't be read as freedom. The devil, I guess. I suppose it can. I suppose that's the very subject matter at hand when it comes to the devil, isn't it? It's freedom or lack thereof. So I suppose even the devil is very much all about freedom. And then you could say the same about the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords would associate typically with the opposite of freedom, but freedom is the key, like the subject matter that's been looked at, isn't it? Um, so yeah, I think it's interesting to look at cards like that. See, rather than looking at a card and thinking, right, then and assigning a cold hard meaning to it, look at a card and think about, right, what theme is being discussed here, um, and then go all around it. Go like the full spectrum of that subject matter. So, for example, the devil and freedom. Um, you know, you look at it as being like think of freedom, think of lack of freedom, think of the journey to gain back your freedom or to lose your freedom, and all of that stuff. I find that can be quite helpful. See if there's a particular card that you maybe struggle to read, or you can read it in a very limited way. Think, right, what is the subject that this card is generally addressing? Um, and can I zoom out a wee bit? Can I look at that a wee bit more broadly? You know, that's quite a useful wee exercise I find when I'm struggling to read a card or read it in a certain context. Think of the subject and then think of the whole spectrum of the subject and like the whole story type thing. Anyway, uh, I've been thinking about the aces, says Gerald. I like that because it's the freedom of possibilities for the suit. Yeah, yeah, it's that kind of the full potential of the suit, the freedom to go in whatever direction you want, really, isn't it? So yeah, I can get that, and I think that was what Marvin had said in the Instagram comment. Um, Tony says, I was basing my thinking on the classic image rather than the numerical holding the world had, and the numerical holding the world in hand, looking out yonder. Oh, sorry for the two of wands. Yeah, yeah, I absolutely, I can get that. Marita says the Six of Pentacles is very giving. Freely giving. Oh, yeah, or is it though? Right, that's the question. Is the Six of Pentacles freely given? Because for me, the sixes are about balance and harmony, right? Um, so for me, the giving that we see in the Six of Pentacles, it's a rebalancing of the scales. So it's not limitless. It's not like, you know, just giving without ends is how I would interpret freely giving. It's kind of a given to a point, you know, given, but it has limit. Um, no, I mean, fair enough. That's still freely given, isn't it? Because then we could, like any of us, if we're like being charitable or if we're given in any way, it has to be with limits. But that doesn't mean we're not given freely. So no, I'll take back my comment. Um, Apparently, I had to talk that one out aloud there. I was basing. Oh no, sorry, I got that. Yep, the star card tips out. Star is pouring out, temperance is pouring in, says Marita. Go ahead, challenge me to find freedom in something unlikely, in some unlikely card. Deanne is challenging Robin with the Eight of Pentacles. Being freed from your money isn't great, says Marita. Yeah, the Eight of Pentacles. I'm free to spend a whole day working on my favourite hobby. Look at my lovely creations. Um, Witch's Wisdom card 15, Journey, gives freedom vibes. So the Witch's Wisdom reverses the cards, doesn't it? It turns everything on its head. I can't remember if is the Fool still essentially at 0, or is the Fool the last card? So if the Fool is the last card, then what is 15 the equivalent of in normal terms? Is it the Lovers? Because you would have like 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. So you're like 7 in. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 lovers. So is that what it's equivalent to? Um, right, this is where I had to put that music on. So I'm loving all your wee dance emojis. Robin, Twist and Boogaloo, Shimmy the Cook, the Coco, and Pop. Don't forget a dip. Superman, let's go. Scylla's card, right, okay. All good. I just got the notification that Chris posted on YouTube our word for the week. Oh, that notification only just came out. That's annoying. Oh, I posted that a while ago. Oh well. Laura says, "What's Malamir's deck called?" Somebody's probably told you by now, but it's the Chakra Healing Tarot. But let me show it. The Chakra Healing Tarot by Malamir R. Logan, art by E.C. Mazur. Um, and around 9 p.m. tonight I'll get the Insta note. Really? Are they really that bad? See, I didn't realise that. That's quite annoying. But I did wonder why I got so many likes after the live has happened. But that's probably why, because the notifications aren't going out until after. Freedom of choice. Now I'm hearing that Devo song. Um, Free to be bad, says Marita. Free will can get us humans in a lot of trouble, says Laura. Challenge accepted. The devil, yes, I'm chained, but I choose to be mischievous and roll around in the pleasure dome. Freedom is a responsibility, says Beth. Free to get into mischief, says Robin. Alamir, you've posted. Yeah, you're a mod, so the link has posted. I'm awful at adding. Oh no, don't worry. Oh, I've lost my mouse. There we go. Not my mouse. My mouse is in my hand. My cursor. Because I've got three screens and like one of them's portrait, so like it's not the same size up and down as the other screens. So sometimes my cursor gets lost in this bottom corner. And I can't find where it is. Oh, look, it's our lovely Elaine from Tarot Tats and Tea. She says, hello, Chris and everybody. Hi, Elaine. How are you? Malamir's congratulating you on 1K subscribers. Yes, congratulations, Elaine. Well done on reaching 1K subscribers. It is very much deserved, and I'm very pleased for you. I might have been talking about you earlier on. I guess even in the Three of Swords, there's freedom in the final outcome of difficult communication. Yeah. I think of the Three of Swords, so the kind of the classic Three of Swords to me is kind of like tough love, like harsh truths. So it's the breaking of the stalemate in the Two of Swords. So if you imagine like the Marseille, you've got the Two of Swords, your two swords are curled round and they can't really move for each other. You're almost in that kind of a stuck position. And then the third sword comes along and just like batters right through them, breaks them to pieces, you know. So it's a painful thing, but it's like it's freedom from that stalemate. So I actually can really see the Three of Swords as freedom. But what I was going to show you was the Three of Swords from the Tarot of the Abyss. It's the alternate Three of Swords. I'm going to show it on the table camera. I think it's time to get that light on. So when we think of the threes, they're about growth, expansion, creativity, and the swords is the mental suit. So it makes sense that the Three of Swords should be about expanding your mind, about learning new things. So in this, we see exactly that. We see the learning. He's applying his intellect, the three swords, to the book, which represents the knowledge that he's taken in. And we've got these birds as well that are connecting, the book to his mind. And the birds, but we also see letters as well. So I'm going to hold that up close just to let you properly see it. So I think this might actually be my favourite Three of Swords card. Just because it finally freezes from that annoying Solabusca. Like, I know it has its place and all that kind of a thing, but I just feel as though it should be the swords is a mental suit. Why we have a heartbreak card in the mental suit, I'm never going to understand, to be honest with you. And if you are going to have that card in the mental suit, I feel as though it should be the minority. But because it's in the Smith way, everybody's doing it. So it is the majority. Purely for that reason, I believe. So yeah. But then I suppose the Golden Dawn, the kind of astrological association is something in Libra, Saturn in Libra maybe. Um, so yeah. Anyway, I won't go into it anymore. Um, see, Elaine says, I didn't realise I've just popped back online. Thank you. Um, to me, the tower card can bring freedom. Not the easiest way to find it though, says Patsy. Yeah, definitely. That's another one that's totally like a type of freedom. It's painful and it's hard to get there, but it's totally about freedom. Um, have you ever counted all of your tarot cards? How many do you have? Let's see. I've got them on Libib, so I should be able to tell you exactly how many I've got. So tarot says here 196, but there's a couple of decks. I know Practical Magic and Dreamy Moons aren't on there. Um, so maybe 198. In fact, there's another one in there, a total tarot, so 199. Probably around about 200. Let's just go for an even 200. That's how many tarots I've got, and I think I've got about 50 oracles. So a healthy wee collection. 5 of Pentacles is that negative kind of freedom, I suppose. Yeah, it's material instability, isn't it? I suppose that so for me, like the 5 of Pentacles is when it's when your perception of what's valuable shifts, to me anyway. Um, it's almost like you're being forced to see that actually what the things that matter in life aren't the material things like money and like wealth, shiny objects. Um, but it's well, who am I to say what's valuable? Do you know what I mean? Like, who am I to sit here and tell you what's valuable? But it's just that it proposes that perhaps money isn't the most important thing. That wealth and material kind of material possessions aren't the most important thing. That perhaps connections we have with the people around about us, self-awareness, these other things, that they are also valuable. And to me, that shift in perception, that change that happens is what really kind of it's like the carpet being pulled from under us. Um, and it can be like when you think about the idea of like the typical idea of like midlife crisis where somebody goes and buys like a Ferrari or something. To me, that's a 5 of Pentacles moment. That's when it's a shift in perception. Anyway, once again on my soapbox, got to get going. Uh, got to get to do some card reviews whilst I still have a good light. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of your day. Thanks very much for popping in, Miss Tarot Musing, or sorry, Miss Moonlight Musing. It was lovely to see you, and you enjoy the rest of your day too. 3 of Swords, killing emotional attachment could be freeing. Think of divorce, escape from a heartbreaking marriage. Painful but freeing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a painful kind of freedom. Head over heart, says Deanne. I'll see everyone later. Got to run, says Gerald. I love that 3 from the abyss. Yeah. Sorry, that's must be really annoying for you when I'm doing that. Tony says, it's like the ridiculous sun card. Can we please have a new image? 3 of Swords is just, yeah, I know what you mean. Uh, no one has mentioned the lovers or the 2 of Cups. Free love, loving freely, says Marita. Yeah, that's a good point. Again, like some might see the lovers more as choice than about love. Um, so yeah, but for me, the lovers is it's both. So I think I talked about that last week as well. It's where we're kind of we make the choice between what we desire or what we love and what we feel our where our responsibilities lie or what the expectations of us are. We choose between those two things. So you could choose to free yourself and go with, what your heart desires, or you can choose, expectation. So there's the choice of freedom there. Um, the Tower card is freedom. Shake yourself loose from constraints that hold you in one place and keep you from moving on, says Robin. Having food and shelter are valuable, and take money now where you used to be able to live and eat wherever and whatever you wanted. Yeah, yeah. So you need money for to have food and shelter and things. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Did we have justice yet? Says Tony. Freedom when the court case rules in your favour or cuts your ties to others. Robin's got some more thoughts on the Three of Swords. Three painfully emotional challenges um, might be what it takes to finally learn your lesson and grow from it. Robin says, it took some time for me to learn to love the Tower and the Three of Swords, whereas I used to always dread them. Life is much in context. Malamir says, I think there's a lot of freedom in the Three of Swords because you get to choose mind over matter or choose a wiser decision for your future than your present. Yeah, absolutely. So I think we're quite liking the Three of Swords, aren't we? Like the Three of Swords seems to be sparking a lot of discussion, which is interesting. The intuitive Night Goddess deck card 7 is actually called Freedom rather than the Chariot. Oh, that's interesting. Deanne says, here's a video where Vincent Battisti explains how some meanings have morphed over time, including a bit about Eden Gray's interpretation of the Three of Swords. Thanks, Deanne. And 15, or the Devil, is called Reclamation. Hi, Ramon, how you doing? Says hello to all the wonderful people here. We're talking about freedom, Ramon. So what card or cards do you see as being linked to freedom? A lot of discussion about the Three of Swords. Lots of cases for the Three of Swords being about freedom. But what are your thoughts? Why don't we ask the tarot? Let's do it. We did this, well, we kind of did it, I did it the first week and shared my findings with you, but I've not actually done it in person. So I'm going to pull from the Urban Tarot. We're still in Pride Month, so I'm still trying to use decks that have been created by LGBTQ folk. And I believe this has been created by Robin Scott, whom I believe is trans. Um, so yeah, this deck is like really long, really hard to like riffle shuffle. Once you get your hands sorted around it, it's fine. But even like overhanding, like I'm really having to stretch my hands out. Um, Tony says it would be nice to hear from another Gemini, Ramon. Marita says you could say the Eight of Swords is about finding your freedom. Patsy says, I suppose the magician is freedom, as you have all that you need to manifest what you want. Oops. Okay, let's see what the Urban Tarot has to say. So the card that we got is Justice, and this flew out of the deck as well, by the way, the Queen of Swords, who is called, so each of the courts have got like a kind of a title in this deck. She's the public defender. The public defender. Queen of Wands. So Dassy Swords, Queen of Wands, Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands, the public defender, together with Justice. So that ties right in with what was it Tony that said it? Who was it that said about justice and how there we go, Tony. Did we have justice yet? Freedom when the court case rules in your favour or cuts your ties to others. So there you go, Tony. You must be psychic. Um, Robin says, beware the fortune teller who shuffles underhanded and what she doesn't deal from the bottom of the deck. Why not, Robin? Why should you not deal from the bottom of the deck? I say you could deal from wherever in the deck you want to. In fact, one of my favourite things to do, and it was you that first proposed this idea, Robin, is the finding the significator thing. And taking the two cards on either side. How well do they go together? Yeah, they do, don't they? I'm just that good, says Tony. Yeah, you are, of course you are. It was all intentional. Okay. Well, I think we've had a lot of really good discussion about freedom and the cards that go with it. We can continue that discussion, but I'm going to just pop the banner in now. So if anyone wants a reading with the Urban Tarot, if you've got a question for the cards, then pop it in the chat and I will pull some cards for you. But by all means, please do feel free to keep the chat going. Tarot selfies when we partnered in lives. We used to do that. Yeah, we did. Good old days, eh, Robin? Marita says, I guess the intuitive isn't in your name for nothing, Tony. I'm just going to try and keep that there if I can. Just so you can see what deck I'm using. We've got a question. How can I ensure my meeting is productive tomorrow? Says Tony. Feeling a riffle shuffle for that question. Well, that's a right good riffle shuffle, so it was. Okay, how can Tony ensure that our meeting tomorrow is productive? Okay. We'll get the Princess of Swords, the Activist, is that? We've got the Aeon, which is Trump 20, Judgment, another deck, and we have the Prince of Swords, the Hacker. Lots of courts today. Right, I'm going to so to me this is like subject, advice, and outcome. So I'm mostly kind of centering around the middle card, the advice card, because it fits most in with your question. So the advice is the Eon. Now, the Eon or the Judgment card or Awakening or whatever you want to call it To me, that's about drawing a line under what's come before. It's about, we address what's happened before, we deal with it, we learn what we can from it. But once you've learned what you can, it's important that we draw a line and we move on from it. So I don't know what your meeting's about, Tony. I don't know if it's a work meeting or a meeting with friends or if there's going to be like important discussions that happen. I don't know if there's going to be like, given that there's these two swords cards that have come out. I'm going to guess that it might be a wee bit heated, or it might have the potential to become a wee bit heated. Maybe it's a sensitive subject matter that's going to be discussed in this meeting. But I think the important thing is that you make a point in not dwelling on whatever's happened before. And that doesn't mean that you ignore it and you just kind of sweep it under the rug. It's not like that at all. We deal with it, in the sensible way, in the very swordsy way. Okay, so like both the princess and the prince. So in an intellectual way, we look at it, we look at the facts, we look at what's happened, we look at right, what can we learn from it for future. But that is the key. It's the key is that we can draw a line. Once we've learned everything we can, we draw a line under it when we move on from it, and we don't come back to it. At least not just to wind ourselves up. Okay, we don't come back to it unless we can learn something more from it. Is what I'm saying. So that I think is the key advice here for your meeting tomorrow. Um, so yeah, these swords cards, I'm thinking it has the potential to be quite heated. So I suppose just make sure that everyone stays on point. People they see this Prince of Swords card, this hacker card. This card makes me think of someone like a kind of an internet troll, someone who's going to say something just to be controversial or just to kind of agitate things a wee bit, like basically throwing a grenade in and then sitting back and watching the chaos ensue. You might have characters like that at this meeting. If you do, then just be savvy of them, be wary of them, and be prepared to nip that in the bud. All right, make sure that you know how you're going to deal with that if that does arise. So that's just something else that I would say. Um, but Princess of Swords being the subject matter, as it says there. So it suggests that what we're talking about, people care about it. It's not like we're all just going to walk away from this meeting and forget all about it. It's something that's maybe close to people's. Sorry, there's a siren outside. Let's just wait until that bucket is off. Um, Probably not going to be something that they'll just quickly forget about. Sorry, my camera's shaking. Um, it's something that matters to people, so bear that in mind as well. And with that, I think we'll close out this reading. I think that's enough chat from me. What do you guys think? Do any of you have any different ideas about what we saw there? Oh, right. Robin says, "What is your significator these days, Chris?" Probably the Page of Cups or maybe the Knight of Cups. Interestingly enough, if you go by the astrological associations with the decans, it's the Knight of Cups. Um, Typically, when I think about myself, I tend to think more of the Page of Cups. But I mean, to be fair, maybe I'm more like the Knight these days. I'd like to. I would be flattered to think that I'm more of a Knight of Cups these days, but I still kind of look at myself sometimes and think, you know, and cringe and think, why did you say that? Or why did you think that? These intrusive thoughts. Do we all have that? Is that just a me thing? Um, I can be very self-critical, very self-conscious. So to me, that's Page of Cups. Robin says, step one, attend it. I thought that and then speak. Yep, I'm going to feel out what's needed and addressing some education on a ward to improve patient care. Right, okay, so it is something that matters. Um, Kristen says, I still don't know what my significator card is. Robin says, "Are you still getting lots of Empress cards?" Not a ton. Uh, I think that you don't have a set significator card suggests that you are mutable, open to changes, or just scatterbrained. So the mutables are, I think the mutable signs are signified by is it the queens? I'm not actually sure. I've got a feeling the cardinals are the kings. I'm a fixed sign, and I know that I'm a knight, so does that mean that all of the fixed signs? Well, no, actually, because do you know what? I'm not even going to get into it. It's really not that interesting, I don't think. Um, well, it is, but it's a wee bit too taxing on my brain for this time of night. It'll become a quality improvement project lasting a few months. Okay. I still want to hear more from people about the fish symbol on the Page of Cups. It's always befuddled me. Give me a good reason for its appearance there. I think that might be the point, Robin. It's just about random, isn't it? It's about random. It's a surprise. It's like you wouldn't expect it to be there. Um, it's something so just like, oh my gosh, look at that thing. And because it's an animal of the water, water is the element that's associated with cups. Um, so yeah, like, to me that all fits in with the Page of Cups. You know, it's just a wee bit like easily surprised, easily impressed is the Page of Cups. You know, it doesn't take much to impress them. It doesn't take much to surprise them. So just like a fish jumping out of their cup, it's like, oh my gosh, look what wait till I tell you what happened to me today, you know? Um, see, cleaning out the fish tank. I don't have any one significator card, says Malamir. If I need to choose, sorry, if I need one, I choose the one that fits best. I'm Gemini, so very mutable. Um, yeah, lots and lots and lots of Geminis around me. I discovered it more and more. So I've just learned that Tony's a Gemini too. But yeah, I definitely seem to like Geminis seem to, or I seem to gravitate towards Geminis, or they gravitate towards me. I don't know what that is, but Sandy, my husband, is a Gemini. My best friend Robbie is a Gemini. Malamir's Gemini. Um, there are more. I'm just not remembering who all of them are. Um, there's something fishy going on. There's Robin, Page of Cups, fish out of water. Thank you, Chris. Your take on the situation was on point in the reading. I will keep an eye out for the hacker. Definitely, definitely. And if it's about improving patient care, probably, I suppose the point and the Aeon card might be like focus on what needs to be done going forward and not the, what's gone wrong before. Um, from a point of view of like dwelling on the wrongs, we can talk about what's gone on before to learn from it, so we can bring up, right, okay, well, this happened in that scenario. Going forward, we would rather this happened, so that it's constructive and productive. But if we're going to come at it from a point of view of, oh, well, I remember you did this. What was that all about? Why did you do that? What was your thinking behind that? Like, that's terrible. Imagine you doing that. Shame on you. If that to me is the difference. Page of Cups, an outsider, aka a fish out of water. Um, you're probably the hacker. Are you a wee keyboard warrior, Tony? That's funny. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions that they want to put to the cards? I'm probably going to wrap this up because, well, for one, we're gravitating towards a natural stopping point, I feel, but also I am roasty toasty, and I'm going to be up early tomorrow, so I want to try and get a wee early night. So if anyone's got any more questions that they want readings for, then please pop them in the chat now. If not, I'll pull a card for the collective for the weekend ahead, and we'll leave it there. Marita says get some rest. Ah, well, don't worry. As long as I mean, generally, I'm usually up at 6 for work, and I go to bed at 11. So 11 till 6 is a good amount of sleep for me. So that's 7 hours. Um, as long as I get between 6 and 7 hours sleep, I'm generally doing quite good. And let's see, we need to leave the house at 7 tomorrow, so I'll probably be up around about 6 actually, around about my usual time. Do you have gay pride this weekend, like we do here? I don't know if Glasgow are actually doing it this year, Robin. See, but Glasgow Pride is a bit of a controversial and touchy subject, to be honest with you, because it's become very. I think it became very kind of a. It wasn't very well managed, um, and yeah, that like they were kind of getting artists and that that perhaps weren't best and nothing LGBTQ about them, and I don't know. I think people were just getting a bit sick of it. Those that the reasons that I've just given probably don't do it justice. There's probably other reasons. But so I think a couple of years ago, it kind of there was a bit of a rival parade, a rival pride. There was like two prides happening. Um, so I don't know what's happening this year, but um, I'm not aware of there being anything on this weekend though. Right, okay. A card for everyone for the weekend. Oh, look, she's back. It's the Justice card again. Oh dear. So what can we say about justice that we haven't already? So we've already talked about how it it links to freedom, you know. Uh, Justice for me is cause and effect. It's kind of a how it's karma, right? Justice for me is karma. That's how I view the kind of the meaning of the justice card. It's the connectedness of everything, even if they don't appear to be connected. Even if intellectually, you don't see the direct connection between two things. Sometimes things are connected. Who could have guessed that, there's someone eating a bat or whatever the hell it was that kicked off coronavirus in 2019 would have led to a global pandemic, you know? It's kind of like the butterfly effect, the butterfly flapping its wings and a hurricane happening halfway across the world. You know, like we don't always appreciate the connection between things, but you know, that doesn't mean that it's not there. Um, so yeah, cause and effect, guys. Think about your actions. Think about the things that we're doing. Like when we talk about like manifesting, people talk about manifesting like it's a buzzword these days. Um, if you want to manifest something, if you want something to happen, if you're trying to work towards a particular event or something happening in the future, think of, justice is your friend. Think of karma. Think of justice. Think of that cause and effect relationship, and think, what actions do I need to take now in order to see that outcome happen, in order to manifest my desired outcome. You know, always be thinking about what do you need to do now. If you're kind of going to go about things and just be like, right, okay, well, I don't know, I want some extra money next month to spend on tarot cards. Um, I can, I don't know, I suppose I've got two options. I could find some productive way of making extra money. So whether that's like doing extra tutoring, maybe doing some overtime with my work, or maybe I don't know, see if I can do a painting and sell a painting. I've been painting lately, guys, with acrylics. Maybe I'll share some of my artwork at some point. Maybe I could see if I could sell a painting. There's ways I can do it, and don't get me wrong. Just because I'm taking an action now, it doesn't guarantee the outcome. But if I'm not working towards it, if I'm not doing anything towards it, then how can I possibly expect to have that extra money that I want for next month to spend on tarot cards? You know? Um, so justice. Think about the cause and the effect. Think about the actions that we're taking. Um, and what effect are they leading to? That's maybe something to think about over the weekend. Um, okay. I'm going to love yous and leave yous. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for all the amazing chat about freedom and just generally your chat today. I've enjoyed it. Take care. Hope everyone has an amazing weekend. I'll see you all soon. Bye.